All right, good morning, guys.
Morning.
What did we go over yesterday?
Sideswipes.
Yep, and what were the takeaways from that?
Don't have one. Ask me. Be aware of what the other drivers are doing before you pull out or turn or whatever.
Which safety acronym do we use when we're pulling out?
369. Yeah.
369, yeah. So Ron, you wanna kind of explain what happened yesterday?
I was sideswiped by servicing a tote. There was a semi on the other side of the street parked unloading. There was cars in front of me parked. It was on a hill, a little slight curve. And instead of waiting a little bit extra longer, realizing the routine breaker took it into account that should have been a routine breaker. I pulled out after I signaled and everything else and looked it, tapped the car right in the door
Where at?
on Highway Baker Road.
So what was the takeaway from that, Ron?
We gotta make sure, I don't know about you guys, but I do, make sure I take longer before I pull up, look in the mirror longer. And that's-
Yeah, and what else did you take away from that, as far as signaling?
Realizing routine breakers, looking in the mirror longer.
Well.
So when are you gonna
Yeah,
signal?
When I get ready to turn out, after I check the mirrors. That's
Right.
it should be before you check your mirrors. As soon as you're done servicing, signal, and then check your mirrors.
And for the,
A couple of times.
for us that don't know, the trucks are different. In Ron's truck, that, you know, he's got the flashers, you know, they're going. So when he signals, they shut off and the left-hand, you know, the left-hand turn signal goes on. So it doesn't stay on, where in some of the older trucks, you have to shut the pump off for the flashers to stop and then to signal. But in his newer truck, it does it automatic. But, you know, what's the reason we would signal before checking our mirrors?
Show intent.
That's right, to show intent, because, you know, that 2-3 seconds, checking the 369, checking allows extra time. And I think in this case, in talking to the other motorist, he saw the semi, and I think was more focused on the semi than our truck. Saw the flashers on, you know, approached our vehicle. Probably at the same time, Ron was just setting down the tow. He signaled, and as he crawled up on Ron's side at 10 miles an hour, you know, the signal was on, and we pull out, and I mean, you know, when you're just from a stop position, it's not that we have to accelerate very hard. We start moving, and he was right there. And the reason that he had hugged our vehicle closer than normal is there was a moving semi parked on the street across. Well, you know, on a residential street, the older ones, there's not a lot of space. There was enough for maybe one vehicle to be in there versus normally two. But when you had one of our trucks to one side and a semi on the other, there wasn't a lot of space. So, again, Ron, we are not in the thinking business. That's right. We have to know what's around us, and it's harder, you know, said than done. But we just got to take that little extra time when we're in the mirrors, and it's important to signal before we check. It allows that 2-3 seconds before we pull out. And you know, needless to say, you know, in this case, it happened, and it was definitely preventable on our behalf. We need to know. But that being said, without jinxing us, Leroy, and I hadn't brought it up, we were over 10 months without a vehicle accident in the district, which kudos to all of you. It was the longest stretch that we have had ever here, 10 months. That's all the district drivers without having an accident.
Gee, thanks, Ron.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So,
I don't feel good about it.
so with that, you know, let's, again, focus, understand the risks involved when you're traveling up and down the streets if something isn't as normal. And I mean, the residential guys, Jason, you and Ron have it especially difficult. You're exposed to more risk than any other drivers that we have. John, the resident, any residential ASL driver, there's too many, there's a lot of moving pieces, right? If Ron didn't see the car, and a car is how big, what else is much smaller than that car?
Children.
Pedestrian, bicyclists, I mean, you name it, a motorcycle, everything's less. And if we don't see that car, I mean, that means we're not seeing other things. So, well, let's make sure we take the time. So what's the takeaway from this morning, guys?
We observe it.
369.
369. When do you set your blinker?
Before.
Signal lights,
That's right.
blinkers.
Yeah, signal lights. Old school, sorry, all right. With that, let's have a safe one today, guys.
Use your blinkers. Blinkers and check your blinkers.
Blinker.
Blinker.
I didn't say blinker. I just said blinker.